Okay, hello boys and girls. This is Mr. Patterson here, and I want to wish you a happy Halloween. And I'm here just to tell you a story and to share some videos and play a little game. Okay, so let's get started. So as you know, Halloween is on October 31st. That's this weekend. And it is a scary and fun time of year. So on Halloween, children wear costumes. You probably know this already. So you dress up like some kind of monster or whatever cartoon character. And go trick-or-treating. So trick-or-treating is when you knock on your neighbor's door and ask for candy. It says, okay, people also play games and tell scary stories. So let's start by learning a few scary words. So of course, when you think of Halloween, you think of monsters, right? So this one here is Frankenstein. So if you happen to, want to wear a costume, maybe you can dress up like Frankenstein. And this is a ghost. This is werewolf, a werewolf, which is a half man, half wolf. This is a witch, and this one is a zombie. So we have Frankenstein, ghost, werewolf, witch, and zombie. Scary monsters, right? Okay, so as I said at the beginning, people like to tell scary stories. That's a big part of Halloween. Okay, so let's see. I've got a little story for you. So this story is called The Hairy Toe, and it's illustrated by Daniel Posgate. Okay, so please listen and enjoy. The Hairy Toe, illustrated by Daniel Posgate. Once there was a woman went out to pick beans, and she found a hairy toe. She took the hairy toe home with her, and that night, when she went to bed, the wind began to moan and groan. Away off in the distance, she seemed to hear a voice crying, "Where's my hairy toe? Who's got my hairy toe?" The woman scrooched down, way down, under the covers, and about that time, the wind appeared to hit the house, swoosh, and the old house creaked and cracked like something was trying to get in. The voice had come nearer, almost at the door now, and it said, "Where's my hairy toe? Who's got my hairy toe?" The woman scrooched further down under the covers and pulled them tight around her head. The wind growled around the house like some big animal and rumbled over the chimney. All at once, she heard the door crack, and something slipped in and began to creep over the floor. The floor went creak, creak at every step that thing took towards her bed. The woman could almost feel it bending over her bed. Then, in an awful voice, it said, Where's my hairy toe? Who's got my hairy toe? You've got it. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the story. I hope it wasn't too scary. Alright, now let's play a game. We're going to play a quick game here. So how this works is we have 3 buckets here, okay? 3 jack-o'-lantern buckets. And this is a piece of candy. It says, where is the candy? So the candy is going to go into one of these buckets, and then the buckets are going to move around, and you need to guess which bucket it's in. Okay, so let's get started here. Okay, so you see the candy went into the second bucket. Try to keep an eye on this bucket. Okay, so which bucket do you think it's in? Is it in bucket 1, bucket 2, or bucket 3? So let's check bucket 1 first. Ah, it's an eyeball. How about bucket 2? Another eyeball. And bucket 3, it's the candy. So I hope you got that right. That was number 3. Okay, let's try again. So watch where the candy goes. Okay, so it goes into bucket 1. Now let's mix up the buckets. Okay, where do you think it is now? Which bucket? Is it bucket 1, bucket 2, or bucket 3? So let's check bucket 1 first. It's another eyeball. Bucket 2, it's the candy. There you go. And how about bucket 3 is just an eyeball? Okay. So last one. Last one. Let's see where this one goes. So it goes to bucket 3. Okay, let's mix them up. Okay, so which bucket do you think it's in this time? Is it in 1, 2, or 3? Okay, let's take a look. Yes, it is in bucket 1. Bucket 2 is just an eyeball, and bucket 3 is another eyeball. There you go. So I hope you got that right, boys and girls. That's it for the game. Now let's end things by listening to another story, but I'm not going to tell this story. Somebody else will. Okay, this story is called The Well. Okay, so the well is a hole in the ground where you get water from. Okay, so let's listen to the story. This one is a little bit scary, so, just don't get too scared, okay?
This episode is brought to you by Nickelodeon's The Casa Grandes. I'm Faith, and this is the story of the woman in the well. Don't turn out the lights. Each year, Rachel's mother would drop her off at her grandma's house for their yearly visit. Grandma lived down a long dirt road, miles from neighbors, tucked away in a beautiful forest. At night, Rachel would take Grandma's dog Harry out for a long walk in the woods. As she clipped on Harry's leash and stepped outside to begin their walk, Rachel's phone buzzed. It surprised her. She didn't usually have service so far away from town. An unknown number had sent her a text. "Come to the well," it read. She tried to respond and ask who it was, but a message wouldn't go through. She shrugged it off. It was probably a wrong number anyway. Harry pulled her along the dirt road, picking up a scent. She allowed him to lead her as she looked up at the beautiful moon through the trees. Suddenly, Harry stopped. He began growling at what was in front of him. Looking around, Rachel realized she was in unfamiliar territory. She'd never walked this way before. She strained her eyes to see what Harry was barking at up ahead. There stood a large stone well in the middle of the pathway. She'd never seen it before. Curious, she crept toward the well with her cell phone flashlight and peered down to the bottom. But the well had dried up. All she could see was a bit of wet dirt and darkness. "Hello?" she called down playfully, listening to the echo bouncing back at her in the blackness. Her cell phone buzzed again. It was another text, but this time it was a picture of her. She jumped back in shock, tripping over a tree root, her phone flying in the air and shattering down beside her. She and Harry ran back toward the house. Her grandma tried to calm her. The well was old and dried up, she explained. In fact, it was odd she stumbled across it tonight. Contractors were coming tomorrow to cement it over. Rachel tried to show her grandma the picture she'd been sent, but it had disappeared. Her grandma made her some tea and Rachel fell asleep on the couch. Early in the morning, she was awoken by the sound of a cement truck backing up and her cell phone ringing incessantly. Half asleep, Rachel picked up her shattered phone and held it to her ear. "Hello?" she answered.
"Come to the well,"
said a voice on the other line.
"They're burying me."
Rachel leapt up and ran as fast as she could, but she was too late. The cement truck was driving away and a pile of gravel lay where the well had been. Hurriedly, she picked up her phone and dialed back the number. It rang. Then she heard a ringing on the other line. The ringtone emanated from the ground deep, deep below her, buried in the darkness. Until the ringing stopped.
"Hello?"
Okay, so that was the story. Oh, it was a little bit scary, right? A little bit creepy. I wonder what's going to happen next, right? Okay, well that's it, boys and girls. That's it for me this year. I'll just say happy Halloween again, and if you're going down to the school hall, I hope you enjoy the games, and I'll see you there if I haven't seen you already. Okay, so again, happy Halloween. Hope you get lots of candy and have some fun. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. Bye.